And we're live. That's new. And I didn't swear, so that's one upon me. So, hello and welcome to episode, I want to say, 24 of Talkin Tech, the weekly podcast from, well, I've got to rephrase that now, haven't I? It's one of the weekly podcasts from MobileTechTalk.
Oh, yes, indeed.
So this is episode 24, and I believe I called it some Google news, something along the lines. I forgot to take note when I wrote it all up. If you haven't read one of the latest pieces, we have combined with EuroTech and we now have 3 podcasts. Is it 3 or 4 podcasts a week now? I want to say 3.
I think they normally do a couple of things. There's us on Mondays, and I think Dom's trying to get his.
You've got the Tell Me More. Yeah, that's another series we've got.
So yes, there should be much growth and much more getting organised because as you may have realised, for us, Dom is the person that normally does all the podcasty things, but Dom is a little bit broken. Just
so I messaged Dom at 2 o'clock this afternoon and went, "Would you like me to do a rundown?" He was like, "I'm a little bit broken, so take it. If you want to do it yourselves, do it yourselves." So that's why you've got me and not Dom.
Yeah. So if it's all a mess and all we don't know what we're doing, that's because we don't.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I must have spent half an hour beforehand trying to master Hangouts on air, but I had to do it on a different account just because I feared that much of screwing something up. Oh well, we're there. It's recording, and as long as Mark's got his Audacity recording.
Yep, it is.
In that case, we better get straight in. So, first topic, Android Pay. Everybody knows Apple Pay. Most people have heard of Android Pay, Samsung Pay. Well, there's been a sighting of, I believe it's a place called Pret. I don't know what they do.
Really?
No, I don't have any locals, though.
Okay, right. Okay, you're obviously not a real grown-up, because once you become a grown-up, Pret it's what Starbucks is to coffee, Pret is to lunch.
Yeah, well, I go Subway for lunch, so that probably explains
it.
It's
they do like sandwiches, soups. It's just kind of a sort of nice little place you go kind of for lunch. Nothing super special, nothing fancy, but they're kind of everywhere.
Well, you do live in Glasgow, so that could.
I live where? Sorry.
Not Glasgow, Edinburgh. Sorry.
Yes, thank you.
So that could explain why I've never seen one before.
Yeah, no. These things are everywhere. Trust me. You go into what actually is your nearest town?
The big one that people are going to know is Leicester. So there's probably going to be one in Leicester.
I would imagine there's at least half a dozen.
Dozen in Leicester. No, so that's what they are. There's an education for me.
Well, yes. There you go.
Educational.
I mean, if you Google them, I'm sure Google Maps will pull up your 3 or 4 nearest
ones to me. Yeah. So the picture has a standard traditional card machine, which we all see everywhere, with the Pret logo on. So this is what obviously tells us it's a Pret place, and there's a little green card to the side saying we now accept Android Pay. Which,
of course, Android Pay actually you can't use right now, but Pret will accept it.
So they're going to accept it. So which then leads to the main bed of this article is it's coming.
Yes,
quicker than we thought it was. We're like one step up the ladder. We're getting there.
Yes, although in fairness, this could simply be Pret wanting to appeal to the masses of American tourists that come over.
Oh yes, it could be that as well.
But yeah, anyway, so the basic idea behind this is we were all sort of thinking, is this it coming to the UK? Finally, after all those years with Google and Google Wallet ticking around and refusing to let it work here. So yeah, in short, we think it's coming. We think it's soon.
We think we're a step closer on the ladder.
Yeah.
That is the best way to put it. Talking of Google News, we've got quite a lot, if you can't tell by the title. The latest Play Store update makes it much easier to beta test apps, according to Android Authority. And if you've beta tested apps through the Google Play Store before, you'll know you've got to go open Google Plus. You'll get all your links, go into Google Plus, join the group, and then there's like a little form. It's basically a magic button. Press. You're now beta testing and wait for an update. Now the problem with this, and it's something I've come across when I was trying to beta test Facebook, because I don't know why I wanted to do that, because it seems like it updates every day. So, and I couldn't tell what I was and wasn't using. Obviously, I only knew it was doing something different when my phones, which I conveniently have out in front of me, would all have Facebook on, but they'd be running different from, let's say, my mum's phone, my cousin's phone. So the way this is supposed to work, I've not seen any screenshots yet. I believe you can get an APK mirror and use it. It's supposed to have a little indicator. I've not had chance to play around a bit, obviously, because there's never enough hours in the day, but think easier. I don't know if you've ever tried beta testing through Google Play, Mark.
Yeah, there has been a couple of apps that I've done, but I don't know whether they were so much as betas or whether they were simply closed. So
yeah,
you had to go and follow them on their Google Plus page, and then that would kind of get you access. So I think for broadening, the reach of betas, this is a positive step. But I kind of always thought the point of betas is you want to keep it to a moderately small user base. You don't want to be pushing it out. Or yeah. I don't know. Or maybe they're just going by the the Google method of beta, which is label something beta, keep it as a beta for years, so that if anything breaks, you just go beta.
Yeah, well, that might make sense. But no, nice, quick and easy. I just realised I missed one on the rundown as we were going through, but the next one is to do with Google again and Google I/O. There's some developers have won their way to 2016, and they said 15, Google I/O. And they simply did this by experimentation. It's literally how it was. So Google announced a couple of months ago now, we've got some tickets available, like reserved. We've got a bunch of tickets, about 3 or 4, off to the side. They're up for grabs. All you've got to do is design and build something, submit it to them, and I believe there was talk of them showing what the winners obviously made off at Google I/O. I've not followed back into it. It was kind of like a news story that was like pushed. It was like mentioned, next story. And if you go to the link in the description, you'll see a couple of them. So there's a autonomous vehicle which uses looks like a couple of motors, and I've not had chance, obviously. A notification game, which I kind of want to have a look at.
Really?
And using a phone as a 3D controller.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think all these things are, people have come up with unusual things to do with Android. Something different. I mean, although quite why this notification game got listed in here, because personally, I think I would sooner kill myself than play that. But
yes.
But well, whatever. Yeah. So Google is, rather than trying to charge people obscene amounts of money and to get into I/O, they're gifting them out to these people that have done some cool and fun things. So yeah, this seems completely sensible thing to do, especially this little Android autonomous vehicle with the what appears to be essentially a remote controlled car type thing.
Yes,
That's
that's what I was
controlled
getting.
with has a Nexus 5 slapped on the top of it. And it seems, I haven't read everything about it, but it would appear that the phone then controls the car, and the phone is tracking an object, in this case, in the video, a green ball, which that seems kind of cool. I mean, this is turning Android into a
Cinematography type style thing.
well,
It
arguably
would give
cinematography, but yeah,
it
I
would
mean,
give
there's a
some
lot of
people some cinematography basic. You could argue following.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of uses. You could get this. Obviously, it doesn't have to follow a green ball. It could just simply be, motorizing cameras or whatnot to follow people's faces. One of the applications I thought about this for, if you're tracking wildlife,
Yes,
you
that would be
know,
another use.
something weird. Just because I happened to see the other day there was something on Netflix where they followed a pod of dolphins around with a remote controlled fish, basically, so as to be able to watch the dolphins without unduly interfering.
So yes, there's obviously potential for that project. Obviously, that's
Yes, and no third world country is going to stick this on top of a missile and turn it into a smart weapon.
we hope not. Anyway.
Okay, no, North Korea, Iran, you're not allowed to do that.
So that one's chuckled me. So most people have heard of the Amazon Echo and the Amazon Echo Dot and the Amazon Echo. You remember what the other one's called? It's the one that runs on batteries, has an inbuilt rechargeable battery.
Is it not just called the Echo?
No. The Echo was the original. They called the original Echo is the Echo. Then they did the Dot, which was the very small one that looked like a hockey puck. Then they did another one, and I can't remember what it is.
Well, I don't know. I kind of more think of the thing as the Amazon Alexa. That's basically
or the Alexa, as it's commonly known.
Well, yeah, Alexa is is Siri, is Google Now, is Cortana. Amazon's version is called Alexa. But essentially, the thing we're talking about, that's all it does. It's a speaker and microphone. It sits there. You can ask it things. It will tell you things. You can ask it to play music, and it will do things. It's kind of an interesting concept. So far, it's been US only, although I do believe it's coming to the UK very, very, very shortly. And I have it, although I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say where from. But the reason
America, obviously.
Oh no, where I got the information. But the reason it hasn't come out to the UK is basically because Amazon has no partners in the UK. So in the US, you can ask Alexa to order you a pizza, or order you an Uber, and Alexa can do these things. In the UK, because there are no partners, Alexa can basically tell you what the weather is.
I would have thought she would have been able to do some Spotify and Prime Music and some of the services that America have that we have as well.
Yeah, there's some basic stuff that if you get an American one and you bring it over here, you can make her do. But all the kind of really cool stuff she can't do because there are no UK partners. But this would appear to be... Well, anyway, sorry, yeah, we've gone completely off topic.
I was going to say that one's it only took us, 3 topics to go on a wild off tangent?
Well, it's not a off tangent, really. I mean...
No, it's still related.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's what Alexa is.
Yeah.
Google is having Project Chirp.
I like that name.
I
Chirp.
don't.
Not if you were going to talk into it, but as a project name, I like it as if you like Alexa, for example, or Google. What was it? Google Now or Google? I don't know. I don't use it. Or Cortana. You go, hey Cortana. Hope I didn't activate anyone's Cortana in the process.
No. Yeah,
No,
see when people on podcasts say this, I have never once had any device respond ever.
I had one, and it only went off. Literally, this wasn't the phone, but I had a phone placed on the table, and I was can't remember what I was doing. So I had to put the other phone down. As I was obviously putting the phone down, they said it. So Google now picked it up as if you were bringing it closer, and it just picked up.
No.
But no, so they're making their own. Well, supposedly, is what I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't really understand how, in what way this is supposed to be different from what Google Now was supposed to do. But
I think it will just end up being Google Now in the home.
Yeah.
So a home version of Google Now.
We do need to give it a better name.
Yeah, Chirp. Chirp is nice as a project name. As a product name, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. So, more Google news. So Google.
Yeah, but this one is good. This one is important.
This one is good. I saw it and I was like, that could get interesting. So Google Chrome will start blocking Flash products. Is that the correct word to use?
No, well, it's not so much blocking. It's that it's by default going to use HTML5, not Flash. And it's going to only enable Flash if you manually, a pop-up will appear and you manually tell it can use Flash.
Which is simply right-click and run Flash, if I'm not mistaken, because I accidentally did that once. I stopped Flash from kicking in, which was a problem when I realized half the sites I used actually used Flash, and I got fed up of doing a click. But
yeah, well, hopefully this will expedite Flash's death, because Flash is an abomination and it should die.
Yeah, I can see that being controversial, but HTML5 has been the way for a while. It's been trying to be pushed, and I think Chrome not pulling the plug, but by default going to HTML5, like you said, it will speed up its death.
Yeah, although one curious little, tack on point. Apparently, Google have said that at present the 10 biggest websites, which Google declares as being YouTube, Facebook, Yahoo, VK.com.
VK, what's that?
I have no fucking idea.
Let's have a quick Google search.
Which live.com, I presume that's like Microsoft stuff.
I would assume that's the old live service.
Yeah. Yandex.ry, which really RY, I thought it would have been RU for Russia, but whatever. OK.ru, again, no idea what that is. I'll assume it's some Russian thing. Twitch.tv, Amazon, and mail.ru. Although it doesn't really specify which Amazon. Just Amazon.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's the Amazon network.
Yeah, well, it stops it kind of being the 10 biggest, really, doesn't it? It's like, because let's face it, there's like 400 Amazons.
Yeah, so VK.com, I just decided because that was the first one that got my interest, is the largest European social media network.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's the European version of Facebook.
Yeah, except it's really not.
No, I mean, if you look at the screenshots,
that's Russian Facebook, right? That's Russian Facebook. That's what it means. Because if you look down all at the bottom, all languages, the three options it gives you is English, something in Cyrillic, and something else in Cyrillic.
I would say that, no, that's not Polish. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm thinking the first one there is Russian. I don't know what that second one. But, you know, it's Cyrillic either way. So it's
not something we speak.
In Europe. Live, and I'm thinking that Yandex RY is a typo.
Yandex, how's that spelled? Yandex?
Yeah, but it's .y is what's labeled in the article. So Wired, I think you've made a little typo. That should be yandex.ru.
Let's try .ru then. Yes, it is a internet service company.
It is. It's basically Russian Google, if you're not familiar with it. Basically, because Russia hates everything to do with the West, or rather, Putin hates everything to do with the West, and so likes to break all these things, and they want to have their own Russian version. So yeah, good for them.
Yeah. So, like I said, another quick one. Where am I on my list? I keep because I'm not normally hosting. I just go through and put a horizontal line for everything. Of course, it seems that I am not a very good person at multitasking.
Okay, well, next one was about the Google's released a new keyboard.
Yes, I remember this one. Do you want to go with this one?
Well, okay, Google have released a new keyboard for iOS, and supposedly it has lots of weird and cool emojis. I don't really use emojis, so because I'm not a 12-year-old girl, so I don't really care. Also, the fact that it's for iOS, I don't really use that. So yeah, the only kind of issue about this story is Google have released this for iOS,
but not Android.
Not Android.
Yes, I obviously get the emojis in that. One of the big features, and this is what people have been talking about, is let's take your standard keyboard. You got your keys. Most people have the next word suggestions on. I do, and I use SwiftKey personally. And then just at the far left, as you look at it, you get a little Google logo. And that is supposedly, like I said, I've not had time, so I've not watched any videos, allows you to activate Google Now. I think that's kind of cool, but knowing how iOS behaves with non-iOS browsers and stuff like that, I can imagine it might be a bit difficult. I've not tried it. I don't have an iPhone.
Well, it seems as though they've all integrated all this sort of search functionality into the keyboard itself, which obviously there's no requirement for them to do on Android, because on Android, you can use whatever browser you feel like, and no one cares. So yeah, I mean, will this be cool? To be honest, I just don't see many people using it. I don't see many iOS users having the wherewithal to actually know how to change a keyboard anyway. They just use whatever their phone came in.
Yes, without trying to sound what's the word?
Condescending, patronizing.
No, without trying to stereotype people. I'll go by that. Most iOS users, and I'm talking most, so not people like Kurt and Greg that obviously from Eurotech that now MobileTechTalk. Obviously they use it and they'll know. But if I'm talking your average Joe that just goes up to an Apple store, goes, "Oh, new iPhone's out, I'm just going to buy it." They'll just use whatever the hell they've got because they don't care, because it works. And that's one, when people say, "Oh, what's better, Android or iOS?" Me personally, Android. It's just, there's 3 Android phones on my desk and a 4th on the bedside cabinet. So I think that kind of says that I'm a bit of an Android fan. But I always say to them, if you're an idiot and you've not got a cat and house chance of knowing what you're doing, or you've had an Apple product in the past and you baked into iMessage, get an Apple phone, because they just work. And if you have an issue, this is one thing I praise Apple about, 9 times out of 10, you book in store, take a product down, because Apple restricts everything in a sense, they all seem to know what they're doing. So it makes it easier for repairs, and it probably explains why when there's a problem with an Apple device, it's sorted and rectified fairly quick.
Yeah. But I mean, if, for example, I
Hang
don't know
on.
how well this is going to come across. No, I picked something. I don't know if you can see the keyboard that I use.
Yes, very slightly.
Anything seems strange about it?
It's not Swift. It's not Google Key. Oh, it's Dorvac or something.
It is.
Dovak. Is
So
it
yeah,
Dovak or Dorvac? I'm not sure.
Dvorak,
Yeah.
like the
That's,
composer.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is a. I just people buy iPhones because they don't know, they don't want to do things like change a keyboard because they don't care and they don't know how. And so unless this becomes the new default that Apple ships them with, which they're obviously not going to do.
Oh no, because that would defeat the purpose of them developing their own keyboard, and why put yourself out
I
of
mean,
a
it's
job?
just there's just yeah.
Yeah. No. So that's that, and I think that's it for the Google news. Yes, that is it for the Google news. So we'll go to the LG news instead. So LG have released a new camera. It's called the LG Action Cam LTE. Now you could probably say that's a stupid name. No, it's not, because it's a action
It's
camera.
a stupid name.
I think it's pretty stupid, if you ask me. Why
I mean,
put it
it's
this?
descriptive, but it's a stupid name.
Yeah, very descriptive. I don't like the name of it personally, and it's basically an action camera that supports live streaming via LTE from LG. I've not looked too much into it. Seems fairly basic. Considering LG have made, when they released the G5, they did a couple of what was the word? And Friends, I believe, when it was launched. It was the LG and Friends. So you had, I think that was for the.
Is Friends not what they call the stupid thing to shove in the bottom?
No, I thought that was the modules. I thought the Friends was like the Sphero knockoff, is what I'm going to call it, because it basically is, and the VR goggles, and I'm sure there was something else.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not under that name. I'm just looking through.
Yeah, naming aside, because I think we've all agreed it's stupid. This is kind of, I kind of like it. It's kind of fun, but it's been done before.
GoPro or the knockoff
Well,
GoPro
not just
makers.
GoPro. The one I was thinking of when EE was just getting going.
Yes,
They
I know
did a camera like this because the idea was they wanted devices to get people to buy ridiculous priced 4G contracts, which, frankly, the fact that this has its own LTE modem and whatnot in it, is that kind of cool? Yes. If I was a little up and coming TV broadcaster and I wanted a super cheap way to get out and live cast something as it was happening, this would be fantastic, I think. But otherwise, what real person is going to do this? If they want a live cam, they're going to get one of these cameras they can slap on a helmet or on, as one of the photos shows, it's strapped to the side of a quad bike of some sort. But you're just going to wait till you get home to upload it.
Yeah, that's personally.
Yeah,
I brought a camera, stuck it on my helmet, and that's what I do. I mean, I do have a SD card reader, like a cheap one from Poundland, and a Type C, a Type A to Type C connector. If need be, I'll just plug it in.
Yeah, I mean, is there any reason why you feel that you would need to broadcast from that live?
Oh no,
anything?
No. All I'm.
I can't.
Who wants to watch me ride to college and work?
Well, live.
Yeah, who would want to? Who would want to watch it? B, who would want to watch that live?
Yeah, and who's going to be wanting to pay for another phone contract to be able to, upload that data live?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be such a problem if you were. I think they say it might be. I think it's very shady at the minute, from what I'm reading on this article. But if it supports Wi-Fi, and I think it does.
It does. It does.
You just go to free and you go, I'll have that £25 all in one. Take the unlimited data.
Well, yeah, that's if you absolutely need to broadcast something live.
But who broadcasts live whilst doing action stuff? It always seems better once it's edited.
Yeah, I can basically see no normal person needing this live functionality.
No, I don't personally. So I think we've well and truly milked that one out a bit. The last one you've heard us talk about several times, and if you ever listen to Mark, you'll know Mark seems to know his stuff when it comes to this, because I certainly don't. But I believe it was finally announced, and I think the decision has half been put to bed. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's half been done. The commission, they are officially opposing the merger. So as it stands, it cannot go through. However, that is subject to legal challenge, and I'm pretty sure
it's going to be a kick up.
Yeah, 3 are going to be challenging it.
Yes, no, that's what I'll put it this way: if you live in the UK, I think most of the listeners do. I think there's a few further out. I know, obviously, we've got now with the Eurotech talk, we've got some in Sweden and Italy. This was, I can't remember, a couple of days ago. Might have been 3-4 days ago. This has been in the news, and for the first time ever, I did hear it on the radio. So that's how big this has got. It's obviously hit some national radio as well as websites.
Yeah, this isn't just tech news. This is news.
No, this is like the mother holy. Most of the UK is aware of it.
Yeah.
I think there was talks at one point of a Vodafone O2 merge.
One of the things that had been talked about some time ago was Vodafone buying things. Vodafone probably would not be allowed to buy any other network. What Vodafone was potentially being talked about as buying was either Sky or Virgin or TalkTalk. Although TalkTalk's probably not, and Virgin. Oh, sorry, no, not Virgin. Virgin had also been mentioned about potentially putting a bid in for O2.
Yeah, I think I'd heard of that one.
Yeah, there are sort of various permutations, but everyone seems to be pretty sure that more consolidation is going to be happening in the European telecoms market. And it's because it's really highly fragmented. Europe may have twice the population of the US. However, look how many mobile networks the US has. I mean, it has 4 major national networks.
With a load of MVNOs. See, I am learning. There is some MVNOs out there.
There are, and the US also has a lot of regional operators as well. But still, in sheer numbers, you just look at the number of networks the US has, look at the number that Europe has, and Europe is extremely fragmented, largely still along national lines, which kind of goes to throw a giant spanner in the works of the whole point of, a single market when it clearly isn't.
Yeah. There was Twin Caps I was going to quickly mention as well.
So yeah, I mean, well, there's also been, I don't know if you would have come across, because the UK's having a referendum fairly shortly on whether to
EU in or out, yeah, that one.
There has been a great deal of talk that essentially the European Commission has kiboshed a merger
But depending how it goes, it could then.
That will have no bearing on the rest of Europe whatsoever, because it's it's only affecting two companies inside the UK. It's also been commented that the EU Commission was absolutely fine and happy to okay BT buying EE. So
British justification on that was it was not two mobile networks going to one. I know BT has or had, I don't know if they still do, a MVMO service. I don't know if that's still around, but
yep, they still technically do have it. It's tiny, but it exists.
It is tiny, and I believe it was at one point coming off, I want to say Vodafone. I doubt it is anymore for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think it's actually on EE.
I think it's now. It should be now on EE, considering they brought it. But I know it was.
I mean, there has been a great deal of talk around that British former state monopoly and incumbent has been allowed to buy network off of German state incumbent and French state incumbent. That was okay, that was absolutely fine. Yet for some reason, Three has not been allowed to buy O2, and postulating that because it's a company from Hong Kong.
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean the reasons for them canning this deal are just full of shit.
Some of them are ridiculous. I had a brief listen, but that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I mean, there's so many aspects of this that it's just the European Commission has just the most spectacular. Well, not so much butchered. It's either that they are the most incompetent morons ever and have absolutely no understanding of the telecommunications market in the UK and absolutely no understanding of the history of the telecoms companies in the UK. So either they're absolutely complete and total fucking morons that are completely unfit for their job and should be fired immediately, if not prosecuted for gross incompetence, or they're France Telecom and Deutsche Telekom buy them lots of very, very, very expensive lunches.
Yes, that's probably. I think it's a mix of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is just it's so just full of shit and so corrupt and so suspect. It's unbelievable. I mean, it just really is. Plus, on the back that they've said no to this deal that affects nobody outside of the UK, whilst the UK is weeks away from turning around and telling the EU, "Thank you, but go fuck yourselves."
Yeah, well, which we're not going to get into that one because
no, but
we're not a politics podcast.
If I was Hutchison, I would be writing great big fucking checks to the Leave UK.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea if I was Hutchison.
Great big checks, absolutely. If for no other reason, just to fuck them off, because yeah.
So that is the news. I think we're coming up to less. My Audacity says 41 minutes. I think we've sat here for about 10 minutes. Anyway, so we have kept it considerably short.
Well, we are a person down, so
Yeah, we've not got Dom with his alcoholic distractions. Is that a term I could use?
Yeah,
always alcoholic looseners to get his brain spitting the words out in somewhat of an assorted order. But no, I couldn't think of anything for a quick topic discussion. I don't know if you've got anything off the top of your head, Mark.
No. I mean, the thing that the things that I've been noticing in the news is this 302 deal. It just keeps coming back, sort of more and more stories about it. Because I mean, Three are just they're not going to let this lie. And
oh no, they're like what's this phrase? A dog with a bone.
Yes. Yeah, I mean. It just, and the whole BT buying EE thing being approved without a hint, without a comment.
of doubt. And
it just, yeah, it screams dodgy.
yeah, yes, so no, that is it. Although I did put down and see devices that we've currently got for review. Have you got any besides your array of audio pieces? Do you have anything in particular? That is an LG G5.
It is, yes.
And I also happen to know that Kurt, sorry if I'm, yeah, Kurt, well, I don't know where I got Kurt from, also has an LG G5. Obviously, when the merge was put in, obviously we were two different sites and each had got a hands on a LG G5. And I don't know what the plans are with that. I know there was talk of you and Kurt both reviewing separately,
yeah, I think basically what's going to happen is you're just going to
into one or bang it into two.
I think they're just going to probably end up going as separate, just because.
Just as simplicity.
Well, I think my reviews of phones, I tend to skim a lot of the stuff that other people do, like especially with the camera. It's like, there's a camera. Although I did take some pictures the other day when I went for a wander along the coast. But yes, there's a great deal more emphasis on audio and stuff. So,
did you get the audio module, or did you just get the bare bones?
No, it's just the normal and nothing. Didn't get the Bang & Olufsen bit, which, to be fair, I suspect that's probably in their interests.
Yes, I did notice as I was on my break at college, as I was walking past a long way, because my tutor decided he was feeling generous today. He was going to give us a 2-hour lunch break instead of 45 minutes, which he normally then extends to an hour anyway. I walked past Vodafone, and I don't know if if you follow me on Twitter, but you'll know, last week or a week before, they had a sign outside saying, pre-order the P9 and receive a free Huawei watch. In the window today, they had a sign saying, get the LG G5, and there was a free module. And I can't remember which one it was. It was
I don't know.
$69.99.
seen the ones that are saying if you buy the G5, you'll get the free £150 Bang & Olufsen earphones with them, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, they had a module up, and it was a £70 module. I want to say it was the Bang & Olufsen's, but that sounds ridiculous. It's probably it was the camera grip. It was
the Bang & Olufsen one I think is 150.
Yeah, which made me think how that's 150. So camera grip's got to be a little bit cheaper. So 70 quid would sound about right.
They could be worse, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I can't say anything without having used either of them, but
no. Yeah. So you've got the G5.
Yes.
I've got fresh out of Vodafone I'm going to get this right. This is the Vodafone. Oh, let's just turn that off. Smart Prime 7, which I've got to admit, for £75 is pretty nice. And I got to admit, I'm slightly loving the display. It's kind of nice. It's not as good as the 6P, which I am finishing my editorial off of that. As people know, I traded some phones and a Chromecast, and I brought a Nexus 6P and only had to pay £100 to it. So I'm writing a review up on that, not an editorial, to see if it was worth it or not. And by far, one of my favorite, not because it's spec-wise is great. I mean, spec-wise, it is appalling. Let me just grab the boxes, because I'll put it this way. This was how Royal Mail decided to package it to me. I mean, Vodafone. So I've been trying to not damage the box, but this is the Vodafone Smart First 7. And if I told you this was £25, you probably wouldn't believe me until I told you the specs. This runs Android Lollipop 5.1, the Prime, which is just there. That has Marshmallow. 3.5-inch HVGA screen, and I kind of hate it, obviously, because it's a terrible display. 2-megapixel rear camera. Only has a 14,000 milliamp hour battery, which has not performed too bad. I mean, I fully charged this morning, and it's currently at 3%, but I did do, I'm going to say, half an hour tethering off it today, because I don't know if anyone's ever used O2 Wi-Fi in busy places, but it kind of gets terrible, and I didn't want to use the 6P. Quad-core CPU, I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. It only connects to the 3G network of Vodafone, and I'm going to assume this is a cost thing. Would make sense. Not a biggie. I mean, where I am, it's sat on.
Yeah, it's £25. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, what do you expect? Although I have seen some $25, $30 phones with LTE in them, but it's 25 quid.
In fairness, you know, that was £25, and it has. But hey.
Yeah, no. The worst thing about this phone, even worse than the screen, is the memory. You are looking at 4 gigabytes, which, by God, is a nightmare because
how much is usable?
Because
that's what matters, really.
That is what matters. Yes, it uses a. They both use near stock Android. Obviously, they're not stock Android because Vodafone offer these smart, basically idiots is the word I'm going to use, modes. And where is it? Storage. It has. It says total space 4 gigabytes. I want to say it's going to be about 3.9 gigs, roughly.
Yes, but what is usable? Because the OS is going to eat most of that.
Yes, no. Let's see how much the OS. Yes, so Android system uses 1.91 gigs. So you're looking at about 3 gigs of actual.
You mean 2?
Yes. 2.
Because 4 take away 2 is so difficult to sell.
But it's 4 minus 1.91 if you want to be precise, which we'll just say just over 2 gigs. We'll say 2 gigs. And I've not got a lot on here. Obviously got Action Launcher on. So that's a problem. Does have an SD card support though, which will help a little bit. I would not personally recommend sticking apps on an SD card, but photos, music, worst case scenario, you break your main phone, you're caught short.
But let's be honest. I mean, whoever's buying that, they're either buying it because they're a tourist and they're only going to be here for a few weeks.
Yes.
And they just want a phone that they can throw away, leaving the hotel when they leave. Or you're buying it for grandma.
I wouldn't recommend buying it for grandma.
No, but that's who it is.
Because it's so damn small. It is so damn hard to type on.
You want to have a phone, but they're probably not going to use or do much with.
Yes. No, it's a good little phone. One thing it doesn't call out on the box, and I'm not surprised, is this has 512 megabytes of RAM. Which was when I first got the email to say these were out, I was like, that's interesting. I want to see how 512 megabytes of RAM will handle. And it handles it. I've not used it too much. From the brief play around of setting everything up, it's fine. This has 8 gigs of RAM, so it's going to be about the same. They are made of plastic, and they are really light. I mean, obviously this is heavier because it has removable battery, but this Prime 7 is really light. It's lighter than the 6. It's about on the same length for the 6P, possibly slightly lighter. So I am kind of really happy with these, and they're not mushy buttons as well. I don't know if you've ever used really budget phones that had really horrible buttons. like really mushy, not much to them. I've had a couple in the
So no,
past.
like none are springing to mind.
Yeah, no, these have got really. I don't know how well these are picking up, but took a photo. They're quite clicking. I only did that because for some reason Audacity defaulted to that mic and I wasn't paying attention. And a last one more for me is the SJ Cam 4000, which is a GoPro knockoff. you can't hide it. Action camera. I do have the Wi-Fi model, so you can access it for remote viewing, downloading of files to the phone. I've got it I've not got it bolted to the top of my helmet. It's on the top of my helmet. I brought that myself, and I'm kind of really impressed with that. One glitch I will find if you're looking into it, if your phone has Marshmallow on it, and I only know it's Marshmallow because I've obviously had the Prime in, you will connect to it because it broadcasts its own Wi-Fi network. And then when you open the app and go to connect again in the app, it throws up a load of Chinese, which in a nutshell is the how to use it guide, which means that for some reason the app won't work with Marshmallow. So if you have a lollipop or below, it works fine, just not with Marshmallow. Hint why I use a USB reader. I mean, I could plug the camera in, but then I'd be charging the camera at the same time, and I don't always need to do that. So I think that is it for tonight. Have you got anything besides the G5 coming up? Anything major? Anything scheduled?
Oh, I scheduled for tomorrow the thing I showed off last week, the little music player. There is a bunch of stuff that probably needs to come like this week, but you know, it basically depends on how good or bad I am at actually writing things.
Yes, no. So I've got obviously got these two phones for 2 weeks. So 6p you should see this week, hopefully. Obviously now that we've got Eurotech Talk, the Eurotech Talk writers,
Although
there is a lot more.
came in just
Ooh,
well, it has.
They look nice.
So
they look very nice.
Really?
I kind of like the look of them. I like that red and black though. So
I don't know if you can read it.
Somic or Somic.
Yeah, but they are. I've had to kind of play with them so far, and they're quite reasonably nice for the money. They're only about
how much are they roughly?
About 30 quid.
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah. So I mean,
is that from Gearbeast by any chance?
It is. It is. So yeah, they're kind of what I would kind of term dirt cheap. But I have since been told that my perspective on the cost of earphones may not be shared by everyone.
30 quid is, I wouldn't say it's cheap. I'd say that's affordable, but not cheap. Cheap is like you go to Poundland and buy a set of earbuds. That's cheap.
Yeah. The people I was conversing with, they sort of expressed about $10 is about as much as they were willing to go, and it's like, cheap. And it's like, right, okay, so these $100 ones sitting in front of me, those would probably not be what you'd call cheap then. Okay.
So now, so on the outro, let's see if I can nail this. So the website is www.mobiletechtalk.co.uk. For some reason, it's in the show notes. It doesn't have .co.uk on the end. Twitter is at MTTFeed because somebody has Mobile Tech Talk and won't give it to us. We can't get in contact with them. Instagram is Mobile Tech Talk. I post on there. Craig posts on there. Mainly used for the pictures we take out on the phones that we've got. They do also plug into Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus if we use the right
if I
hashtag.
remember, I might try and add some of the snaps I took the other day with the G5.
Yeah, I can get the information to you for that. Facebook is Mobile Tech Talk UK, although who uses Facebook anymore? YouTube, Google Plus, just search Mobile Tech Talk, because trust me, it will make your life easier. And Patreon, if you give us some money, we'll make some better free shit for you. So I've been Chris. You can find me at Chris Wallace 959, and that, my friend, has been Mark, and you can find Mark on Twitter at 2410, and that goes for the same across most platforms. So hopefully you'll have Don back next time and not me. But please do also give us a review on I think we're on Stitcher, mainly iTunes, because as much as we not hate or don't like iTunes, I have realized I had to rephrase that. Its rating system is second to none, and personally one of my favorites. So give us a review on there.
Yeah,
Tell us what you like.
if anyone has any kind of comments as to the formats of shows that are now going to take place, because there is probably going to be a good few weeks where everything's going to be up in the air, and we're all going to be sort of saying, right, well, who's going to be doing what? Right, who's going to be focusing on this area? Who's going to focus there? Who wants to do blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, if anyone has any thoughts, please do feel free to make those known.
Tweeters. I mean, I've got access to the Twitter, so I'll see it on there. I know Craig's got access, Dom's got access. Most of us have access, so we will see it. Just spammers. No, don't spam us. Just let us know in multiple places. Anyway, I'm dragging this out longer than it needs to be. So, bye.
Okay, bye.